Preparing daily check deposits is a routine banking chore I handle. I deposit all checks promptly to maintain the office cash flow, to prevent them from being lost, misplaced, or stolen, and as a courtesy to the payers to enable them to more easily reconcile their bank statements at the end of each month. I have endorsed all the checks immediately upon receipt. In this practice, we use a stamped restrictive endorsement for deposit only, together with the account number and the signature of the person making the deposit. The endorsement is always made within 1.5 inches from the trailing edge or left-hand margin of the check. Another form of endorsement is a handwritten restrictive for deposit only endorsement. I pull up on the computer the patient's ledger and enter the payment with the check number. The computer calculates the balance owing on the account and also posts the transaction to the daily log, which shows check and cash payments, charges and adjustments by patient and account number. For my daily bank deposit, the computer searches through all the transactions completed for each patient during the day, calculates the amount of payments received by check and cash, and then generates a check register showing the patient's name, the number of the check, the amount of each payment, and the total deposit. The check register is in the format the bank requires for a deposit slip. I can also prepare checks on the computer, and the computer maintains the statement of the account and calculates the bank balance. I reconcile the computer-generated statement each month with the bank statement and incorporate any bank charges. On each check, I type the date, the full name of the payee to whom the money is going, the amount of the check in figures and in words, and the purpose of the check. Under the control of the computer, the checks are printed in the numbered sequence I entered, and I can take them and the daily bank statement to the doctor for signing of the checks. I also use the computer to manage all the appointments, hospital visits, free times, and days off for both physicians in this office. The computer software allows me to fix, change, cancel, confirm, and reschedule appointments. From the electronic appointment schedule, a daily list of appointments can be printed for each physician. The software can reserve blocks of time for specific procedures. For example, if a new patient examination requires 45 minutes, it blocks that time. For each patient, I enter the name, telephone number, a numerical code for what the doctor will be doing, and a short note about the purpose of the visit. The appointment software records each patient's appointment in the daily calendar, in the patient's computerized medical record, and in a daily tickler file so that I can call and remind the patient the day before the appointment. If a patient calls to find out when an appointment has been scheduled, the system can search by name to find the time and date. It searches for available openings for specific procedures. I can make emergency alterations much more easily than in a manual system, and each medical assistant has a copy so that they can be prepared for their day's work.
The term triage is derived from the French word trier, which means to pick out. In the medical office, triage refers to sorting out those patients who need to be seen immediately from those who can wait.
Doctors Lewis and King, this is Ellen speaking. How may I help you?
Ellen, I'd like to talk with Dr. King.
Dr. King is with a patient right now. May I ask who's calling?
This is Mrs. Lawrence.
Oh, Mrs. Lawrence, did you want to make an appointment?
No, I want to speak with Dr. King.
Is it about a medical problem? Oh, Mrs. Lawrence, there's another telephone line ringing. May I put you on hold for just a minute?
That's okay.
Thank you. Doctors Lewis and King, this is Ellen. How may I help you?
Ellen, this is Anna. It's my day off, but I've got to tell you about Mrs. Alexander, who we saw late yesterday. She's coming back this morning.
Anna, I'll call you back when it's less busy. Mrs. Lawrence, thank you for holding. I'll just be another few seconds. Thank you. Mr. Williams, you don't look very well. Can you tell me how you feel?
I have this Holter gadget on, and every 10 minutes or so, I feel faint. I'm really sweaty. And as I was walking in from the parking lot, my fingertips began to feel tingly.
Mr. Williams, I'd like you to have a seat right over there. I'm going to get a medical assistant for you right away. Ronald, I'd like you to come up to reception right away for Mr. Williams. I think he's having an acute heart problem. Thanks. Mrs. Lawrence, thank you for waiting. Do you have a medical problem?
Well, it's my son, Daryl. In the night, he was hot and restless. And this morning, he has vomited a couple of times. And he has a sore throat.
I'm sure that Dr. King will want to check Daryl. Can you come in this afternoon at 3:30 or 4:30?
3:30.
3:30. We'll see you then. Doctors Lewis and King, Mrs. Ellen speaking. How may I help you? Oh, Mr. McDevitt. You say you're having severe chest pains? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Are you having difficulty breathing? You are having difficulty breathing. Does the pain go up to your neck or jaw or out to your arms? Down your left arm? Mr. McDevitt, I want you to stay exactly where you are. Sit in your chair and don't move. I'm going to send the paramedics to you. I'm going to put you on hold for just a second while I dial 911. Then I'm going to have Dr. King talk to you until the paramedics arrive. Okay, hold on.
Triage requires clear, logical thinking, good decision-making skills, and poise. It also requires good training, responsiveness by other staff members, and clear policies and procedures in the office. The manual of telephone emergency response guidelines should always be by the phone. By means of the ARU button, which provides an automatic answering mechanism, Ellen was able to back up incoming calls and focus on Mr. Wilson until the paramedics arrived. Patients needing help in dealing with a medical situation beyond their experience and knowledge require concise, accurate assistance from a well-prepared front office medical assistant.